high earners, lottery winners, professional athletes,
Yeah.
inheritance. Get a 500,000, a 10 million thrown at them. I think 90%, especially lottery winners, 90% go broke or
Yep.
lose all of it.
Yeah.
What suggestion would you give them?
Get a process, a system. You have to have some ground rules of operating with money, right? Do I lend money to relatives? Do I live within my means? Now that your means have changed, what does that mean for you? Because money changes people, right? You borrow $10,000 from your uncle, Thanksgiving dinner's a little awkward.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm so excited. I get to talk money today because we all love money. I know people love it more than others, but you can really be a servant's heart with money. I'm learning that as I'm making a lot of money, how I could really be a better servant's heart. And my guest is going to dive into this. But before we do, here's your quick gratitude for today. You're one of a kind. Powerful message, short, sweet, but true. And my guest is definitely one of a kind. Let's bring him on. Connor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Steve. Looking forward to it.
Financial servant hearts. Those three words are hard to put together for a lot of people. How do you do it?
So I do it by being a financial consigliere, right? A financial coach, a guide. I don't sell any products and services outside of coaching people. I believe that they have the answers inside of them. It's my job to kind of ask the right questions to get that answer outside of them and give them the tools and resources they need to get where they want to go.
How much do you relieve their stress? Because financial stressful.
It's a lot. That's the reason I started this business. I looked around and there was a lot of people out there that were suffering, right? And it was the divorce rates, the interest rates, the fees, the fines, the penalties, and all this other stuff. And I just happened to have a degree in finance and was a financial advisor for 20 years. And I couldn't understand it. And I was like, why isn't anybody just helping these people with, how to budget, how to get out of credit card debt, how to build wealth, how to communicate about money, how to teach their kids about money. And I put the flag in the ground, started Progress Solutions, and I've been doing it ever since, and I love it.
Now, I have a lot of financial experts on here like you, and I've never asked this question. It just came to me. High earners, lottery winners, professional athletes, inheritance. Get a 500,000, a 10 million thrown at them. I think 90%, especially lottery winners, 90% go broke or lose all of it.
Yeah.
What suggestion would you give them?
Get a process, a system. You have to have some ground rules of operating with money, right? Do I lend money to relatives? Do I live within my means? Now that your means have changed, what does that mean for you? Because money changes people, right? You borrow $10,000 from your uncle, Thanksgiving dinner's a little awkward. Why is that, right? So you have to really stop, pause, think, reevaluate your principles and values. What is that? Money is a tool, right? And what is it you want it to do for you, right? Money is a horrible, horrible master, great servant. So be proactive versus reactive. Get an operating system, a system of money, and tell it what to do. And get some professionals around you. And what happens is it's overwhelming. It's fear. It's life-changing, right? I come into a large, large sum of money. Now all the possibilities are on the table. What do I do? And some people, they go off, they just spend it all. And then they react. They look, where did the money go? Right? They look backwards. Where did the money go? Versus telling it where to go and the places and principles and where areas they want it to do beforehand.
Athletes, especially friends and family. I just saw Charles Barkley's short where he did that, bought 8 cars and he's working with athletes now, which great. I love Charles, whether people out there like him or not. I just love that he's doing that. And it's funny you say about loaning to family and friends. Judge Judy made over $15 million because people doing that.
Yeah.
So systems, is that where you come in, Connor, and go, okay, Steve, you got $10 million. Let's build a system around that to keep you rich for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's number one is awareness, right? clarity of needs and wants. And then what is it you're saving for? I keep things really simple. Take a complex topic and make it very simple to understand. Budgeting is a B word. I hate it, right? Like let's get a plan, a money plan, and tell our money what to do. How do we categorize this stuff? I make it real simple into three buckets. You have fixed bills. These are things that have a payment date. And then you have savings. Pay yourself first. What is it that you're saving for? Christmas, vacation, right? Okay. What is left over is a little bit less money, but it's what you live on. And if you take care of those things, you can live quite well. Why? Your obligations are paid for and you're saving for your future self. Give yourself permission to spend the money as long as it's in line with your principles and values.
I love financial coaches because it's like a mechanic. Me and you, Connor, our engine goes, we need to replace the engine. Me and you aren't going to go in the garage and start replacing it. I mean, we may try,
Yeah.
but what can we do? You're the same way. You're that mechanic going, hey, Steve, you got $10 million. Let me walk the system. Because I would assume it's customizable to each person, how much they have, their
Oh, yeah.
culture, all that.
What's important to them, their family, their
Mm-hmm.
values, their everything. It's totally different. It's unique in that two different people, two different stages of life are going to look at $10 million differently. They might leave
Yeah.
it to their grandkids. How do I do that without taxes? Or I'm starting out, maybe I want to take care of my parents. They're going through something. Or I want to start a business. I'm charitable. How do I do this in the smartest way? What's the best way of doing this? The most efficient way, right? But yeah, that's that's basically what it is. It's customizable. The things is, it's Google would have solved this a long time ago, Steve. If it was just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
YouTube would have figured this out. It's habits and behaviors, right? We unconsciously spend things because it's the way in which we operate with money since we were kids. And if no one sat you down and said, listen, this is how you get ahead. This is how you have calm instead of chaos. Anybody would sign up for that, but no one sits down. You either have positive role models in your life that teach you this stuff, or you don't. And if you don't, you're building the car, driving down the highway. You're trying to figure it out, and life happens fast,
Yeah.
right? Graduate college. If you went to college, get married, two kids, two cards, credit cards, summer camp, oil bill. Oh my God! Now what? I just lost my job. What? Again? And you're 42 years old, and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
right?
What's next?
So I meet people all along that journey, and it's always it's the symptoms, not the disease. The financial industry itself does a lot of things to patch the symptoms, and it doesn't take
Mm.
care of the disease. And the disease has a lot of the same symptoms, and you can diagnose it pretty quickly. But now what? And it's like, it's not lack of intention, it's not lack of motivation. What is it? It's usually accountability and follow through and getting a clear why. And once you have that in place, it's game on. I love it.
Yeah, what you don't know. And that's dangerous. And it sounds like the healthcare industry, financial industry,
Yeah.
same thing. They're just spending money. And you sound like a guy that's two ears, one mouth, that you're going to listen to me, take in everything, and not just say, Steve, 401k, stocks here, you're going to trade here, do
Yeah.
there.
No.
It's comfort level. So mindset has to come into this, right?
It's a lot of it. I mean, I used to do that, 401k. I used to do financial planning, and all the answers are on page 76 of that financial plan. But very few people took action on it. Why is that? Because it's human nature to avoid those things you don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I started to understand the mindset, and I asked really deep questions that they don't stop and ask. Like, what does success look like? What happens if you don't take action by doing this? Who else is affected by this? How long have you been thinking about this? What's held you back in the past? And it takes a little bit of vulnerability and honesty, but then you get to the roots of what it is. It's not numbers on a page, I can tell you that much. It's usually, yeah, I have a poverty mindset. I'm scared of success, or I don't want to do better than my friends because I think I'm going to lose them, or it's some kind of fear or regret or guilt or shame or something. And once you get that, you can rewrite the script.
25% psychology, it sounds like that you
Yeah.
do. Financial, you don't do the mental health and all that. I want to
No mental
clarify
health.
that. It's not what he
Yeah.
does, but there is mental health, financial mental health. Totally. I mean, it's why lottery winners make $60 million. And like I said earlier, and they're broke. So I've got a question. I got a lot of solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that are listening to this because I am one and become one. I get this question a lot. I want to quit my 8 to 5. I want to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
From the financial side, what suggestions would you give? Because that's a big step, and some people don't do it right.
I use a lot of analogies, right? It's like we want to make sure the pool has water in it before we jump, right? So idea to income. I have this great idea. I want to start a business. Great, go start a business. No one maybe have sat you down and talked to you about what it takes to actually run a business and all the 27 hats you're going to wear. So who's your ideal client, right? Let's build a framework and put water in this pool before we jump. You don't have to do all or nothing either. You might build it out and then slowly integrate into full-time entrepreneurship, right? If you have other obligations in your life, do you have kids, family, health insurance, right? All these different things. How do we make this transition successful, right? And then what is the most important thing right now? Is it, and then when you get to a stage where you actually have this business has legs, proof of concept, I'm making money. Great. Do you have a cash flow operating system? What are you going to do with this money? What is the best disbursement of this money according to your vision of what you want to the next stage, right? A lot of it is getting in the head of your ideal client, the psychographics, not the demographics. What is it that they're Googling at 2 o'clock in the morning? What is the solution? How does that show up in their lives? Communicating that, right? And then where do these people hang out? How can I provide that solution to them as an invitation? So it's tough. You have to pump the brakes and get a little bit of knowledge and structure around how you're going to grow this thing. Sales, marketing, overhead. There's terms out there that are more than 5 syllables that freak people out, right? And
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, okay,
that's
what's
true.
a simple way of explaining that? Right? Cash flow. It's the lifeblood of your business. You can be profitable and still go out of business. People are like, how is that possible? It's cash flow. You need to be able to make payroll. If you don't have payroll, you're closing your doors and slowing them down and building it brick by brick to help them and build the business they want. Because what happens is usually after 3 to 5 years, they become prisoners of this thing that they've built. They're working 70 hours a week. They're not seeing the kids. They're miserable. And they don't understand how that happened. And it's like, well, let's hit the restart button and go back and build the ideal business. And now you have a lot of the things in place, and it's a good thing. It takes time, but it's good.
And I love what you're doing is 30,000 foot view. You're looking at Joe Smith starting a business. He's made $1 million. He comes to you, you come nothing tied to it, but okay, give me all this information. Let's build this process. I love process/systems. And that's the power of you. Lifestyle creep. I read something somewhere you admitted. I don't know. That's what the heck is that?
Okay, so lifestyle creep is perfect example. I actually had a client that was basically pre-med, right? And they live like paupers for a long, long time. And then they get raises and income coming in really quickly. And as they make more money or a raise or a bonus, they fill in the expenses. So then now, after a year or so, they're back to paycheck to paycheck. So it creeps in very, very slowly, but the income is absorbed by non-intentional spending. So you might get a nicer car. You might join the membership of the golf club. You might take a bigger vacation. And when you look back, you're like, wow, I'm making $20,000 more a year or $300,000 a year. How is it that this doesn't make any sense? I'm making $1 million a year and I feel like I'm broke. I'm stressed out again. How would that even happen? It's death by 1,000 cuts, cuts. And it happens slowly, but it's a cycle and it's lack of intentionality, right? If you actually lived at the same rate you had and saved for your future self, you'd be in a way different place than you would be otherwise in a year and a half. And it opens up opportunities. Those who have cash and investments have choices and options. When you do not have cash and investments, you don't have much choice and options. You're stuck in the dead end job. You can keep dreaming about starting the business, but you don't have that bridge of money to sustain that 3 to 6 months to start that business. You have obligations that you cannot walk away from, mortgages and things of this nature, credit card debt at interest rates beyond 20 something percent. And you're stuck, right? And it's a horrible place to be. So I help people get out of that, get unstuck.
And that's where the rich get richer. They get more
Yes.
money to do more, and that's where we get that big gap in the between the middle class and
Opportunity.
the upper class. Yeah, opportunity.
Opportunities.
Yeah, more of that, and that's the beautiful thing about money. If you can build it, AI can
Yeah.
AI service in any of this, or is we wasting our time?
AI makes you more efficient with repeatable tasks. So part of a system is automate. Automation helps me still be my best on my worst week because 70% of my bills and things I'm saving for automatically happen if I'm there or not there. If I depend on my willpower, it's like a battery, it drains. By the end of the week, I have decision fatigue. I run a family, 2 kids, sports. I'm a glorified Uber driver. I run a business, right? Do I want to sit down and make sure I transferred the $1,800 from this account to that account and then budget? And no, I don't. And I'm a financial coach speaking to you. I'm also a human, right? It's like
Yes.
bandwidth issue. So if I can automate 70% of it, it makes my life so much easier. And I only have to augment or change a little bit. And it's real life stuff, the variability of life. I actually pull out a calendar and look at my life. What obligations do I have in the week coming forward, proactive, not reactive, that I have to account for? Oh, I have that wedding. I have that bat mitzvah. I have that. Oh, that's right. Summer camp is due, right? And those things, that's life, but we don't account for it proactively. It's like things catch us by surprise, right? And you might have heard it before. Like Christmas is going to be December 25th again this year,
Surprise.
but somehow it always catches people off guard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Taxes are April 15th, right? Payroll is at the end of the month, every month. So it's creating a system to automate a lot of these things. So AI helps you with that. What it does not help you with is habits and behaviors. I had all the knowledge in the world, Steve. I have a degree in finance. I'm a chartered financial consultant, financial planner. I realized it had very, very little to do with knowledge. It was all about the habits and behaviors. I knew what a Roth IRA was. I knew all the benefits of it. Did I actually open up the Roth IRA? Did I systematically invest 150 bucks a month into it? No, I wasn't. That's a habit. That's a behavior. I wasn't following through. Why wasn't I? I didn't look at the motivations of why I wanted to do it in the first place. I didn't keep that in front of me. I didn't have an accountability partner. All those things mattered. And it's
Habits bite
like,
you.
it's habits.
Yeah. They
It's
bite you in the
habits,
butt.
like subconscious,
Yeah.
right?
Any
It's
IA tools you like to share that you share with your clients that you really love, or
uh, I think I use Chat GPT as a consultant, right? I want it not to give me great job, Connor. I wanted to ask me deep, thoughtful questions to prod me into thinking of things in a different angle. So I use it as a counselor, how
mm,
to look at things I didn't consider. What could go wrong in a situation? What would be some roadblocks I need to think about before I hit them? And it'll come up with those. I'm like, oh, this is good. It helps me be more intentional, more clear of what that's going to look like before it helps me anticipate challenges. We're all going to have
right.
them, but I don't want them to be coming out of left field. I want to have them at least on my radar to consider. And maybe there are some unique things that it comes up with, right? That's how I use it. right? I don't look
Good
at
way.
it. So yeah, I use it for the little answers, but the big things, I wanted to know me for me, my fears, hopes, dreams, challenges, what I've tried in the past, because it comes back with those answers, and I'm like, yeah, I've already done that 3 times. Thanks.
Yeah.
Right? You ask it about budgeting, it'll tell you exactly. It's not lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, this is how you budget. It's been the same since the beginning of time. What are different methods? Yeah, I got the 50-30-20 method. Okay, great. I have the whatever method. It's the actual follow through of doing it on a consistent basis, which is a system. Do I have ground rules on how I operate with money? Every Saturday at 2 o'clock, I'm going to check in with my money. It's going to take me a half an hour.
Great habits.
That's a habit, right? Those important things have to be scheduled and it has to be on a consistent basis. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah, exactly. Financial muscle. That's I've
Yeah,
heard
it
that
is.
many times. You got to lift that. What's the future of financial not ideas, but
No,
financial
ideas for the
growth?
industry itself.
Yeah, the industry with you coaching, a lot more coaches out there, a lot more, which is great.
Yeah.
Not advisors, but people just like, I'm not going to touch your money. I'm just going to give you the habits. I'm going to use that word. I love it. You're going to give me the habits I need to do to grow my money and make sure it's safe.
Yeah. Give you the system for follow through, consistency, and wins. I think the industry itself, I think the problem I've seen is that they put profits over people a lot. I'm not trying to bastardize the industry, it helps, but they have products and services and whatever your challenge is, they have a product for it. But what I found is like you ask people, why do you own it? How does it benefit you? They don't really understand the pros and cons of certain things, what's involved in it, what to consider, right? That's important, right? Because like I said, it's human nature to avoid those things you don't understand. And if you want to have a constant follow through, accountability, and growth, you have to understand those things and see results of what that is. And I can teach you to fish, or I can teach you to fish, or fish for you. Which one do you want? A lot of people say fish for me, but is that going to be consistent over time and know what's going on and have confidence in the decisions you're making, right? Probably not. You're always going to be looking for somebody else for the answers.
I like
And
that.
more money, it gets way more complex.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the other problem. Even you need, I think every rich guy has somebody they're talking to about
Yeah.
money. They've got to. And if they're doing it, Warren Buffett's doing it, Mark Cuban's doing it, et cetera, why aren't we
Yep.
doing it?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you hear it in the industry is trust, 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 because you're depending on other people to trust. That trust has to be, who doesn't trust themselves?
Yeah.
And why don't you trust yourself? It's usually lack of some information, or you've tried it before and failed. Why did you fail? Fail is first attempt in learning, by the way. There's nothing wrong with failure. But once you have that knowledge and the understanding, there's empowerment with that. You cannot stop an empowered person. You get out of the way. Because if they want to get to the top of that mountain and they have the motivation and the know-how to do it, it's just drive at that point. You get out of the way because they're unstoppable.
Yeah, nothing's
Where
going to stop them. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And life's obstacles, they're going to come. And if you can beat those in the path before they happen, because that will come, you're not going to catch everyone. But what's
no,
good about you is coming to you going, hey, this just happened. Remember we talked about it? Let's fix it. But you've got solution. And I love progress solutions. That's powerful because financial, that's what we want. What's my
yeah. I mean,
solution? More
it was
money.
born out of a friend that came to me. He was like, I make really good money, and he was like, I'm not making any progress. He's like, the
Uh,
lifestyle creep, right? That was happening in real time, and he was like, I'm kind of embarrassed. I said, don't be. It's not your fault. No one's really taught you down how to do this, right?
yeah.
Because everything today from social media is instant gratification. And we're marketed to more than anybody on the planet Earth. And they make it very easy, right? Buy now, the button, just click it. Oh, put it in your shopping cart, delivered tomorrow on your doorstep, 24/7. Instacart, you name it, it's out there, right? And if there's no intentionality and clarity on what you're doing and why you're doing it, yeah, you become a statistic and a victim of that.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah,
trying to help empower people to change that trajectory.
yeah,
And it's been working quite nice.
yeah. I could tell this. You've given us some great tips. Let's find out a little bit more about Connor. You.
Yeah.
So I've gone to where you live, and we're going to pick your favorite restaurant. I'll reserve a table.
Okay.
What I want you to do is I want you to invite 3 people who've been influential in your life that just made that big difference. And for me, because you're going to order the food for the table, what are you ordering for us to eat?
Ooh. All right. We're going to start off with some appetizers. First, we're going to have some libations. Loosen
Okay.
up the tongues on a lot of people, right? Okay. Drink of choice. I would, whatever you want. It's your choice, right? And then I would start with a nice arancini. Arancini rice balls, the Italian rice balls with some marinara as appetizer. That's a nice comfort food, easy, not too filling. Then we're going to go to the main meal. The main meal is going to be, I like chicken scarpiello. I like eggplant rollatini. And I like, ooh, a good, like, a good ribeye steak cooked well, right? Like a well cooked, not like well done, but like a good flavorful ribeye steak. And then for dessert, we're gonna have bread pudding and cannolis. As you can't tell by my accent, I am from New York. And then I like carrot cake. I'm a big carrot cake fan.
Well, you scored with me. Who are we sitting with?
Oh yeah. So we're gonna sit down with, I think Warren Buffett would be a good person to have. We're also going to have, oof, I think Elon Musk, like someone that's like very innovative and thinks outside the box, right? And then I want to have like an athlete, somebody like a Bo Jackson, somebody that like their career was cut short of what could have been, that was like he played baseball, played football, he gives a community. Yeah, he'd be an interesting figure to be at that table too.
What a table. I love all those guys. I just listened to Bo a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, it's imagine the millions of dollars he's lost, but he's
Yeah.
doing well. I don't think he's doing well. He's an athlete, ex-athlete that did the right. Somebody's advised him
Yeah.
perfectly, so it's great.
Perfectly. Yeah. So he had, yeah, he had one of the biggest campaigns ever, right? Bo knows,
Yep,
right? And Bo was in a lot of sports, baseball, top end too. He could have done anything.
incredible athlete, incredible. Well, thank you for being an incredible guest. Speaking of incredible, I've learned so much about financial and exciting. I know people listening want to connect. How can they connect with you and learn more?
Yeah, so the best place to reach out to me would be my website. So it's just www.progressfc, as in financial coaching, progressfc.com. There's tons of resources on there for free, consultation, whatever you need. And the other place is on Instagram, which is Connor, the financial coach. And I'm also on Facebook, Connor.
And
You
you
can
got a
reach
YouTube
out.
channel too. You
Yeah, I
educate
was just
us.
starting our YouTube channel. It hasn't launched yet. We're just going to launch that soon. That's going to be an exciting venture, right? Just to get the message out, like there's a solution.
We'll
There's a
get that
solution.
link, in the all those links in the show notes so people have access. And again, thank you, Connor, for taking the time and really just educating the audience tremendously. And audience, this is why you subscribe to YouTube channels. Subscribe to Connor's when it launches. Mine, because you can listen to this podcast. I know some of you are listening right now going, I just talked to my friend. He's struggling. Well, guess what? They can listen to him for 10, 15 minutes. Connor for 10, 15 minutes, get some tidbits, and maybe they reach out to Connor and maybe Connor makes an impact. What a gift you've given people, especially when it comes to financial. It's a game changer. And he told me, I'm going to say it, speak for him. He'll speak with them for 15 minutes, see where they're at, see if he can help.
Yeah.
Servant's heart. You want to connect with people like this. So, with that being said, me and Connor want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with the Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care, Steve.